Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host Tom Downey, and as I asked, you guys sent me your packages. No, your trade packages. Get your heads out of the gutter there. So we're going to go through all of your guys' ideas for possible trades the Cowboys could make this offseason. Now, before we get into it, remember, we're supposed to have fun here. Everybody be nice. And if you can't say anything nice, just type in F for the chat to indicate that you're frustrated by these trade packages. Also, this is a reminder for myself because I've looked through most of these and yeah, I'm going to need to be reminded for a couple of them. Get to the first one here from @JKBHumble, who, by the way, actually kind of came up with this idea, so thank you very much for that. He throws out trading Taco Charlton, George Iloka for Karl Joseph and a 5th-round pick with the idea of the Raiders getting back a pass rusher and it's to develop there. I am intrigued by the idea of Karl Joseph, and I'll spoiler alert you guys right now. There were quite a few Karl Joseph trade packages submitted here. For this one, I think there's some basis here, but I don't think the Cowboys also get the 5th-round pick. Frankly, I think Joseph has higher trade value than both Taco Charlton and then versus both Iloka and Charlton there, so I don't think that quite works out. This other one here, though, from diehard Cowboys fans, I think a little bit closer to being in line with proper value. Cowboys get Karl Joseph. Raiders get a 2024th-round pick. I think this is pretty good. I actually might say no from the Cowboys side of things, as weird as that sounds. But remember, the Raiders drafted Jonathan Abram with the 1st-round pick from the Cowboys acquired in the Amari Cooper trade to play strong safety. And Joseph was on the trade block last year. And I'll make note here that the note was to trade for Karl Joseph in training camp. The Raiders are in no rush to trade Joseph right now. They don't have to panic and suddenly ship him away in case Abram is slow to develop or in case there's an injury. Probably makes more sense to hang on to Joseph for now. And if LaMarcus Joyner plays a lot of nickel corner, maybe you see Joseph and Abram on the field together at the same time. All right, from James Graves Jr., some more Karl Joseph trade packages. He says Dallas gets Joseph and a 4th-round pick, and the Raiders receive La'el Collins. There were a couple different options here for La'el Collins. We'll get to some more, and of course Joseph too. I think there's a possibility here because Collins entering the last year of his contract. They drafted Connor McGovern. Connor Williams can go play right tackle. There's Cam Fleming too. There is a hefty cap hit for Collins, but it does still carry trade value. My mindset is, and I'm not sold on this, I'm open to changing my mind and seeing how things develop in preseason and training camp and all that. I think Collins is still one of the Cowboys' 5 best offensive linemen, but if it gets you Karl Joseph, I'm kind of intrigued by it. So let me know what you guys think here in the comments section. I think that 4th-round pick going to the Cowboys could be adjusted one way or the other. Who would you rather have on the Cowboys? Type LC for La'el Collins or type KJ for Karl Joseph? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. All right, back to Be Humble here. Would you approve of a trade between the Cowboys and Texans of La'el Collins for either Jaleel Addae or Justin Reed? For Jaleel Addae, no. The Cowboys could have signed him if they wanted to, and they didn't show very much interest on that front. But for Justin Reed, well, yeah, I think I would. At the same time, I have a tough time seeing Houston giving him away. He's a really good safety that should not have fallen to round 3. Another one here from Be Humble. Could you see Dallas trading La'el Collins and Malik Collins to the Dolphins for Reshad Jones and a draft pick, or La'el and Taco for Jones and a pick? I think the Dolphins would have interest in really either of those trades, but I'm actually not sure the Cowboys would. And it's all about the money here. Reshad Jones is a really good safety. He has a $13 million base salary for this upcoming season. The Cowboys were not going to pay Earl Thomas that amount of money. I don't think the Cowboys would then pay Reshad Jones either. And frankly, Jones had a down year this past season. His value is pretty low. And with a $13 million base salary, I think the Cowboys, not the Dolphins, actually say no to that trade. All right, next up from 2 Fuse, he says, Cowboys get Patrick Peterson. The Cardinals get Jordan Lewis, Taco Charlton, and a 25th-round pick. By the way, right now, this is we've reached the portion of the defensive back trade details. So this is the one with Patrick Peterson. One of several Patrick Peterson trade ideas here. Cardinals say no. Peterson's worth more than just Jordan Lewis, Taco Charlton, and a 5th-round pick. From Tune in Tone Sauce Gang, that's a unique username there. Cowboys get Minkah Fitzpatrick. The Dolphins get Taco Charlton, Anthony Brown, and a 23rd-round pick. Again, I think the Dolphins say no here because Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of their few building blocks on defense. A good, but still only a nickel corner in Anthony Brown, a potential bust in Taco Charlton, and a third-round pick is not worth a likely first-round selection, or was a former first-round pick in Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think you have to start these trade packages with a first-round if you're going to find a way to get Minkah Fitzpatrick. All right, Ryland Reshad says, Cowboys get Patrick Peterson, and the Cardinals get Tavon, Taco, and a fourth. So why would the Cardinals do that is my thing here. Like, you're giving them Tavon Austin, who might not even make the roster, and Taco Charlton, who might not make the roster either. And you're throwing in a fourth-round selection there? Doesn't really make any sense for the Arizona Cardinals. Like, they're giving away a number one corner, and they're getting back a bunch of nobodies. I don't think that makes any sense at all for the Cardinals. That's not a good trade for them, guys. You got to come up with trades that actually make sense for the other side there. Otherwise, you can't just ship off the players you don't want anymore and get back an all-pro. Like, that's not how trades work in the NFL. And okay. Yeah, thank you, Alicia. You're right. It's just F. Just type F in the chat. I got frustrated there. I'm sorry. That one's just not going to go down. All right. Another one here. I'll get us some more trade packages as we go through these. From Epic Fishing. How about Byron Jones and a second rounder for Jalen Ramsey, and our defense would be unbeatable? I actually think this one makes some sense. I don't know who would say no, actually. I think there's some arguments for and against both sides here. For the Jags, obviously Jalen Ramsey's a better cornerback than Byron Jones, but Jalen Ramsey wants to get paid in a big, big way. He wants to get the bag, and he can be, frankly, a fairly frustrating player. The Jags still get a good corner, a draft pick. Cowboys get a former number 5 overall pick who's a fantastic cornerback. Helps them out now. Jags are still in pretty good shape overall. So who says no to this one, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Type C for the Cowboys and J for the Jaguars. If the Jags don't want to pay Jalen Ramsey long term, Byron in a second is better than any offer they'll get out there. My big issue from the Cowboys side of it, we know Jalen Ramsey is awesome. We also know he can be a pretty big headache there. And Ramsey made it very clear he wants to get the bag this offseason. So does Dallas want to pay him $16+ million? Maybe it's even $17 or $18 million. And I'll put it this way. If you trade for Jalen Ramsey, you actually might be saying goodbye to someone like Zeke Elliott. All right, next up from Be Humble again. He says, whoever is the odd man out of defensive end or defensive tackle should be traded for Saints safety Vonn Bell. He thinks that Vonn Bell will be a great fit alongside Xavier Woods. The Saints get defensive line and a pick for Vonn Bell. Now, Vonn Bell this past year lost his job early in the season and then gained it back quickly and, frankly, played really well for the Saints. I think he's best as an in-the-box, strong safety type. As much as I'd like to see him in Dallas, because I do agree with Be Humble there about his fit alongside Xavier Woods, I'm not sure the Saints are quite ready to trade him yet, but if it's a mid-ish pick for a team that we know wants to win right now like the Saints and another defensive line piece, I could maybe see it happen there. Maybe it's Malik Collins and a pick for Vonn Bell? Maybe. It's a bit of a long shot, but I do like the idea there. All right, from @Nicholas Brayton, he says the Cowboys get Jack Doyle and the Colts get a 2025th round pick. I do think Jack Doyle could be available, but I don't know if the Colts are actually going to end up shopping him, especially not for just a 5th round pick. All right, next up from Food Review, he says the Cowboys get Luke Kuechly, the Panthers get a 1st, a 3rd, Joe Looney, and Allen Hurns. This is the ultimate both sides say no trade. The Cowboys, Luke Kuechly is awesome, but why do you want to bring in one of the highest paid linebackers, as great as he is, when you already have Sean Lee, you already have Jalen Smith, and you already have Leighton Vander Esch? Like, that's not good use of capital. And frankly, for the Panthers, a 1st and a 3rd, and then, that's some decent picks, but they're trying to win games right now. It's not enough for a late 1st and a late 3rd for Luke Kuechly. And then Joe Looney and Allen Hurns, those are backups. So I think both sides here end up saying no as I breathe here and make sure I don't get a little bit too mean on this one. All right, NC's biggest Cowboys fan, he's up next here with a unique one. Cowboys get Aaron Donald. The Rams get Tyron Smith and a 2020 first round pick. I think the value is about right here, but I don't know if it is ideal for either party, because the Cowboys, well, then you have a big hole at left tackle. What do you do with Tristan Hill? The Rams then have a big hole at defensive tackle, and they already have Andrew Orth, so I guess he'd play guard there. It's an interesting idea. I like the idea of getting Aaron Donald. I just don't know what the proper package ends up being. All right, Brokhov's up next here, and this one pains me personally because I love Justin Tucker. However, he's a kicker, And is a kicker really worth a third-round pick? I'm not sure. And also, would the Ravens even take it? So I honestly don't know what to do with this one. Because I love the idea of Justin Tucker on the Cowboys, but the Ravens just paid him. And do you want to go third for a kicker? I don't know. That one's a tough one for me. All right, Brokoff back with another one. He says Harrison Smith for a 2020 second, Jordan Lewis, Jeff Heath, and Taco Charlton. First off, I believe the Vikings will never, ever trade with the Dallas Cowboys again after the Herschel Walker trade. Of course, I'm mostly kidding there, but I love the idea for Dallas because Harrison Smith, I think, would be a fantastic fit in this defense and really any defense. But Minnesota's trying to win right now. I don't think another nickel corner, they have like three of them, a average safety in Jeff Heath and a backup defensive end plus a second is enough for Harrison Smith. But it did give me an idea here. Who is your dream safety pairing? Let's say you keep Xavier Woods at free safety, or you can move him to strong, I guess, if you want. Who is your dream pairing? I actually think Harrison Smith would be my ideal fit. He can play all over the defense there. He is a top 5 safety. So if there's a way to get him, I'd definitely do that if I were the Dallas Cowboys. Just don't know if it's all that likely. Next up from Clay Slocum, he says Xavier Su'a-Filo for a 2020 4th rounder. If you make that a 2020 6th rounder, I could see it happening. But look, Su'a-Filo was cut before last season, and then he was a replacement level guard. So if you're a team like the Dolphins or Texans, sure. No, maybe not Texans because they've already seen Su'a-Filo. Scratch Houston there. But if you're a team like the Dolphins, you need some offensive line help, maybe for a late round pick, but he's not even guaranteed a roster spot. You're not going to get a 4th round pick for him. All right, Sergio Jamie, longtime watcher, throws out Dallas Goedert in exchange for Taco Charlton, but why? Like, why would the Eagles do that? Why would they trade away a very promising young tight end for a defenseman who would be like the 4th or 5th edge? So, like, again, guys, like, we got to put together packages that make sense for the other teams. Like, not even Madden would take this one. So, this one doesn't make any sense for the Cowboys at all. Just, it doesn't work, and you're right, Alicia, you're right. F in the chat. I can't say anything nice. F in the chat. Sergio's a great watcher, though, so I appreciate that. All right, Country Music and the Dallas Cowboys 21_4 says Joe Looney and Allen Hurns for a late 1st rounder. F in the chat. Okay. I tried this on Madden. They said I took like the 32nd overall pick, so it was like the Patriots there. I offered it for their 32 overall pick. They said no. I tried it for a 2nd rounder. They said no. I tried it for a 3rd rounder. They said no. And they finally said yes for a 4th rounder, which frankly still feels a little bit high. All right, we got to calm down a little bit here with some not serious ones from @NotToBeTried. He says trade Jason Garrett. I'm intrigued by this idea, by the way. I think it'd be fun. Don't know if it actually would work out, but it's gambling and I like it. TW1 says Jason Witten and $500K in TV equipment to CBS for Tony Romo. CBS hangs up the phone and then blocks the Cowboys number because that's an insulting offer. Gabriel Paulin says Cooper Rush and 2 Jack in the Box tacos for Tom Downey. So here's my question. Am I now the backup quarterback? Do I get cut? Or does Cooper Rush now host the Cowboys Report? That's my question. Because if you want me as a backup quarterback, heck no. My arm is nowhere near strong enough. Also, my brittle body, I think, would break down after 1 sack. All right, back to Brokoff here. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, he says Tyrod Taylor, or Tyrod Taylor, depending on how he pronounces it these days, in exchange for Cooper Rush and a 2020 5th round pick. I like the idea from the Cowboys' perspective because I do want a different backup quarterback. Here's my issue. I don't know why the Chargers would do that. And yeah, they're getting a 5th round pick, whatever. Maybe they would do it if Easton Stick wowed. I guess that's a possibility. But I think in terms of who says no to that trade, it's the Chargers. And oh, by the way, the Cowboys haven't really shown much interest there in terms of making a big move for a backup cornerback. They haven't really shown a ton of interest in doing that at this point. So that's some more backup quarterbacks. There's another backup quarterback trade that we'll get to here as well. But I don't think the Chargers in the end would end up pulling the trigger on that trade. All right, next up from Scrubby Lumpkin, elite username here, by the way. He says trade Jordan Lewis and Rico Gathers to the Saints for Teddy Bridgewater. He says throw in a 6th round pick if necessary on the grounds that the Saints need a tight end that can catch and could use help in the secondary, and we need a backup quarterback. So again, here's the trade breakdown. He also said, by the way, that they could throw in Cooper Rush to the 6th, but frankly, I think the 6th-round pick has more value than Cooper Rush does. First off, you're a man after my heart, Scrubby, because I love Teddy Bridgewater. Absolutely love him. Here's the thing, though. The Saints would not do this. I like Jordan Lewis. That's a pretty, I think, useful trade piece in any Teddy Bridgewater trade, but they're high on Teddy Bridgewater because they would also need a backup quarterback. The 6th-round pick has no really limited value, and Rico Gathers is not better than Jared Cook, so they wouldn't do that one either. Here's a question for you guys, though. Who do you want as the Cowboys' backup quarterback? Type R for Cooper Rush, W for Mike White, or type O for other, but make sure you guys comment so I know who you have in mind. I put this up, by the way, on the Cowboys YouTube channel. Cooper Rush got 48% of the vote, other got 29%, and Mike White got 23%. Also, by the way, when I put in other, I said comment, and like nobody commented, and there were some non-serious comments, but the most popular one that we actually saw in there was Colin Kaepernick, which will not happen, by the way. All right, a few more trade packages here to get through from Shondell Kinney. It says trade Byron Jones, Jeff Heath, and Anthony Brown for a 1st-round pick. If you were the Cowboys GM, you could get that. I feel very confident that you would definitely find a 1st-round pick for 3 starting caliber secondary players. Here's the thing. I don't know why the Cowboys would do that, though. It actually doesn't make much sense for them because it leaves you with Awuzie, Michael Jackson, Jordan Lewis, George Iloka, Xavier Woods. Your secondary gets worse. So the only way you would do this is if you got back, like if you were out of the playoffs already and you just wanted to get picks, which that works in the NBA. It doesn't make much sense, though, for the Cowboys. All right, Swish Jose with another bad Byron Jones trade. Says Byron Jones for Hassan Reddick and a 3rd-round pick. Cardinals do it in a heartbeat. But why would the Cowboys do this? You're getting a 3rd back for Byron Jones and Hassan Reddick, who would be like your 4th best linebacker? I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever for the Dallas Cowboys. Ryan Guevara with Kirk Cousins for... I'm out. Nope, I'm done. Nope, that doesn't make any sense. Nope, that's F this. F in the chat. Nope. What are you doing out there? Terrible. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.